Earlier today, the new Smurf movie trailer was released, and today I'm going to be going through my first impressions of the new movie. I've been looking forward to this ever since they announced the cast last year, so this is really exciting for me. Now, let's get to it! The trailer starts with a generic pan over a city that looks kind of like New York City, which is an interesting choice. And this starts falling into the real world, because we haven't already seen this twice before. Why are they going to Paris? They already went through this like 12 years ago. I would have thought they'd learned their lesson by now. After all, Smurfs 2 was an absolute fail, and that movie took place in, you guessed it, Paris. Well, I guess the animation is cuter than it was before, so that's a plus. It at least looks more appealing than the previous live-action movies, and I like that it's 2D-like as opposed to the, in my opinion, ugly 3D CG of the first two movies. I also like the comic vibes that this trailer has. Like, it looks like the houses and other background stuff are made out of paper and have that sort of texture you'd imagine a comic book having, which is a really nice touch. I don't understand the part about every day being a party, though. It feels more Trolls than Smurfs, which is a bit odd. Fortunately, it gets interesting very fast. Honestly, the trailer alone makes the movie seem far more exciting than any of the prior movies, because it's clear that there's something at stake. To be clear, it doesn't let you in on what exactly is at stake besides the village no longer being safe, but it's obvious that they're all in danger. I also love the thought bubbles above their heads. It's so comic-y and such a wonderful touch. This magical phonograph is also interesting as well, considering I'm pretty sure they're still supposed to live in medieval times. Or maybe they've moved into the present day. Smurfette seems aware of Paris, so maybe that's the case. What exactly is this turtle? So many questions. Honestly, from his or her prominence in this trailer, I'm surprised the turtle didn't get a little Burger King figurine. For those of you who have not seen my first video where I attempted to match up the voice actors with the characters they voiced, I got a couple of voices right at least. In my prediction video, I'd predicted that Papa Smurf would be played by John Goodman and that Ken would be played by Nick Offerman. And apparently now we know that Ken is Papa Smurf's brother, so I guess making him look like young Papa Smurf makes sense. I did not, however, match Hannah Waddingham to Moxie or James Corden to No Name. Oh well. Also, I think Amy Sedaris is playing a Smurf, like a generic-looking Smurf with no feature that makes him look different from the other Smurfs. My original casting list had her playing Jokey, so maybe she is. I could totally picture it. Why do Ken's little Smurfs look either like ninjas or like robbers? Are they spies? It's revealed later on that they apparently are spies, but I wonder if he has Smurfs who aren't. It also appears that Smurf is back to being a swear word. I guess the Smurf movie people have considered that to be something humorous? I personally don't, but to each their own. And Razamel is, I guess, Gargamel's brother? What's with all the brothers in this trailer? This trailer also promises to let us in on a long-guarded secret. What exactly is a Smurf? As a huge longtime fan, I'm obviously very curious about this, even if I haven't given it much thought in the past. I'm looking forward to finally finding this out. Jaunty, aka the walking book-like thing, appears for 2 seconds, which makes me wonder if he's an important character or just interesting enough looking to warrant being immortalized with a BK figurine. I guess we'll have to wait and see on that too. And also, there are Viking Smurfs for some reason. And as I suspected in my first video, the little blue orb is important. Now onto some other observations. Mama Poot looks much cuter than her little figurine dude. I'm not entirely sure why, but I think that JP Karliak is playing Influencer Smurf. He was not included in my matchup video since he wasn't an announced character at that point. And no offense to Rihanna, but her voice just doesn't fit with Smurfette. I just can't see her voice coming out of Smurfette's mouth. I know she was chosen mostly because of her popularity and name recognition, which I totally get, but the edginess of her voice projects in the trailer feels a little off to me. To be honest, I really haven't liked any of the modern choices for playing Smurfette. None of them seem to quite happy or peppy enough. Maybe she'll grow on me once I see the final product, though. Clearly, and unsurprisingly, some of my other predictions were a little off. For example, Moxie doesn't seem to be evil. She still may have been created by Gargamel or Razamel, but if that's the case, she at least seems to be reformed by the time the events in the movie take place. And Smurfette's knowledge of the modern world is very confusing, like with her chewing gum, awareness of Paris, and familiarity with food delivery. I wonder if in this universe she originally came from the real world. As you can tell, I'm really looking forward to this movie. The trailer is super intriguing, and I'm really excited to see what happens. It's completely not what I expected, but in the best way. The use of 80s covers is also a nice touch. I love the nostalgia and the way that it brings new vibes to something familiar. It already looks worlds better than the first two live action movies, so I'm excited to see what they're going to do in the modern world.